The General Assembly is a very important moment in the life of our network. EuroMed Rights is an organization that has been created by NGOs in the region, both from the north and the south. So it's them who wanted to establish it. And the moment of the General Assembly is where all the members meet and decide what the network's priority should be over the next 3 years. And it's also a moment where the members meet and evaluate the work that has been done by the network in the past. And finally, it's a moment where people, they run for the executive committee. There are elections and people, they elect the new executive committee that will take on the recommendations of the General Assembly and implement it with the help of the Secretariat during the next years. So it's very, very important because it's kind of a celebration of a membership-owned network, and it's kind of the highlights of our democratic system, so to say. We have secured in the statutes that half of the executive committee members should be from the north and half from the south. So we try to ensure that there are equal representation of men and women in the boards. And we cannot force people to run, but we try also to make sure, we try to encourage both men and women to run for the executive committee. So historically we can see in the beginning, the first board actually, there was only one woman. We think in fact that this General Assembly there will maybe be a majority of women in the boards. But I think the very important issue for me today and I think for our members is that we can see that the borders are closing in many countries. We have borders in particular between north and south. I would say there are also borders in the south. It's very difficult to move freely in this region. Today there's a tendency to look toward the other with suspicion and sometimes also to dehumanize the other. So in Europe there's a tendency to see, for example, migrant and refugees not exactly as human beings, but as people one should be proud of not letting in to Europe. And that's not at all the idea of the network. That's not how we are created. We really think in a joint universal humanity. And we think that the Europe and the Mediterranean should constitute one entity. People should be able to move freely, to be able to be together. We have a common destiny together. And we think it's really important to uphold this in times where there are so many constraints, so many people working against that. So we have a lot of hope for that because we are still there. There are many people who work in that way also and create this EuroMed civil society community or this open sphere for people and this humanity to meet.